They walked me outside. My mom doesn't, swing on me because the police was there. And so she's there talking to the officer, so they let me out, and the father of the boy that I had beaten dropped the charges because his father was a hood man himself, and he knew how it goes. If you jump on somebody, they're going to send somebody to jump on you. That's called hood life, So he understood that, so he didn't want me to be a young boy locked up in jail, and thank God for that man. So my mom gets me out. My mom gives me the 5th degree in the car, and the 6th and the 7th and the 8th degree in the car about what I've done. She said, Tyran, that's stupid. Now you can possibly bring trouble to our house. They know where we live. I said, I know, Mom. I wasn't thinking when I saw my friend. I just reacted. It was dumb. So my mom, being the loving woman that she is, she had grace for me. But Deacon Fred didn't. Deacon Fred came over and picked me up, Rich. Oh, he was steaming in the car. I can see it on him. He said, Tyran, get in the car. I got in the car. Deacon Fred took off toward his house, and he wouldn't say nothing, and I was in the car. Oh, the best thing we can do for our kids sometimes is don't say nothing. I sat in that car. I had stuff racing through my head, man. I'm thinking Deacon Fred's going to kill me. Deacon Fred doesn't say anything. Let me speed the story up. Deacon Fred doesn't say anything. He lives 35 minutes away from me. We pull up into his driveway, and Deacon Fred then puts the car in park and turns the car off. So I take my belt off and reach for the door. He grabbed my wrist. He said, close that door back. Let it go. Let go of the handle. So I let go of the handle, and I was looking perplexed. He said, Tyran, I got to talk to you before we go in the house. The reason he wanted to talk to me in the car is because his wife was hooked up to dialysis machines in the house. So he didn't want to upset her. So I'm there in the car. He grabs my wrist. He puts my wrist down. He said, Tyran, I got a question to ask you. And I said, yes, sir. He said, did you think about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X while you were locked in that cell? I said, no, sir, I didn't think about them. I was just honestly trying to get out of there. He said, son, but the thing you better realize is that they were thinking about you. He said, Tyran, my dad was the guy that you seen on TV bit by dogs and sprayed with water hose, beaten by the police to give your black behind rights to live in a free society. And this is how you pay my dad? No man has ever caused me to think like that before, and my eyes fill with tears, and I begin to puff my chest with air. He said, Tyran, you never met my father, but you owe my father. He said, as an African-American man to another African-American man, you will not go out like this. If I ever hear of you in trouble and acting like this in the streets again, I will do the city of Detroit a favor, and I will do you in myself. He said, Tyran, I'm disappointed in you. In those words, oh my God, they cut my heart to the bone. This man had been nothing but beautiful to me. Now he's mad at me. He said, Tyran, you owe people. You got to think about that while you're walking these streets every day. You owe people. Man, my face was filled with tears. He said, why are you crying? I said, I don't even really know. He looked at me, had a little grace for me. He said, get out of the car and go in the house, wash your face, and come to the dinner table. It's over. Man, you know I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling all night long. The images of watching TV and seeing men beat with billy clubs and dogs biting African-American people and water hose spraying people up against the building began to fill my mind. It was like I had a movie screen in my brain, and I began to think about those images. And man, the pressure of that changed my life. I say this all over the country. Jesus saved my soul, but Deacon Fred saved my life. All the men in this room, listen to me. If there are single parent households in this place, I need you to open your eyes. Because just like me, there are boys here who needs to hear a man talk on a regular basis. And if we don't rescue these boys, just like me, they could possibly be given to the juvenile system or the penal system because we, the men of the church, don't do our jobs. I'm asked all over the country, do you play golf? I don't have time to play golf. I owe people. My whole life is filled with keeping young boys out of jail. That's my life. And I'm mad.